Hi guys, this is Kayla.
And this is Becky, and we're with a couple of these read.
Yes, and it is time for our February roundup. So you had a really busy month.
I sure did. We had a quilt show that was March 1st and 2nd. So last week, almost every single day was spent with the quilt show from early morning to evening. And as you can see, Elmo behind me, I made this for my granddaughter. And if you see, he's holding a star. He won the viewer's choice. So the public came in and voted, and everyone's reaction to Elmo was just priceless to me.
Aww.
I was working our Boho Heart exhibit, which was right across from Elmo, and it did not matter the age of the individual. I had a 3-year-old that he came back to see Elmo like 5 different times. His mother had to chase him down the aisle because she says, "Where are you going?" "I go to Elmo." And then I had an elderly lady who was probably her late 70s or early 80s. And she came around the corner and she went, "Oh, Elmo." And you could just see the memories in her face. I mean, her child, her grandchild, maybe even her great-grandchild, loved Elmo. And it was just priceless. And I know he was probably in his 40s, maybe even 50s, man. He and his wife were there, and he was standing in front of it with his hands behind his back. And I started talking to him, telling him about the process. And he was like, "Man, I just really want to touch Elmo." And I'm like, "Well, it's my quilt." I said, "I'll let you touch it," because we have signs that say, "Don't touch the quilt." So, and so he was like, "Oh boy, he's so soft,"
He is.
But I mean, everybody came around the corner, and it was like, "Elmo!" Like they thought Elmo was going to talk back to him or something. But he's 5 foot, and the little 3.5-year-old monster real one is not quite that big.
No,
but it was wonderful. So,
and not to underplay this quilt show, I think the first time you mentioned doing one, I did not imagine it to be as massive as it was. Y'all had like 590 something people
came through. Yeah, we had 167 quilts. And,
so it's a massive undertaking, and they're all hanging on display like at a museum, but you bring all that hanging stuff in.
Oh, we bring everything in. We hired a set of movers to come in and set it up and, do everything. And then we bring in all the quilts that we've been working on for a couple of years and, hang them. And it is a massive operation. Takes a lot of manpower, a lot of, commitment, determination by folks to get it up and get it out. But we've had some fabulous reviews from people, and we flew in a national judge from Virginia to judge. So, I mean, it's a big deal, so we really go all out for it. So
for that reason, not as much reading.
No, but if you want a quilt, find a local guild, and I'm sure that any of them would be happy to help you. So I didn't get as much reading done. But
we did. Together we read Midnight is the Darkest Hour.
Well, she finished it. I haven't. I'm about 3/4 of the way through, but
we kind of read it. I'm going to spoil it for you today.
That's okay. It'll be all right. I'll still enjoy it. I mean, I'm the person who rereads books 2, 3, 4 times. So even though I know the ending, it is what it is.
But you were able to finish one.
I did.
Speaking of quilts, isn't that the greatest? Like, that would be a quilt.
Well, just funny you say that. We had a quilt that looked similar to this.
I saw
the
that
book
one.
bindings, and it won, I think, 2nd place in its division.
Ooh.
And it was beautiful, beautiful. So,
but that's
the Wishing Game. Oh, I loved this book. Both books I read in February were 5 stars, and they were so fabulous. Totally different, but fabulous. This one almost has a young adult edge to it, but it was just wonderful. So definitely, if you haven't read it, it's worth the read.
So let's see. I read The Fury by Alex Michaelides, which is what I reviewed last week. So if you haven't watched that review, check it out. It is a thriller, the likes of which I've never read before, and I read a lot of thrillers, so it's one of those books that breaks all the rules, and you can find out what rules it's breaking in that video.
Yeah. And then, of course, I read First Live Wins. This was awesome.
I've been saying that everywhere.
It was incredible. It was a book of the month. Reese Witherspoon's book club chose it as well, and it was one of those books you just really didn't want to put down at all. Totally different from The Wishing Game, but just so intriguing and just grabbed you and held on for the whole ride. So loved it.
So the next one I read, because it's February, I read a couple of romance novels. One I listened to, and that's Love at First Sight by Cara Bastone.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have an Audible account, this is an Audible original. And it's about like maybe 3 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
But it's full cast recording. It rolls kind of like an old school like mystery theater that you listen to on the radio, but it's not a mystery. It's a very cute, very sweet love story. Okay. So I really enjoyed that one. And then Don't Eat the Pie by Monique Asher, which I have not reviewed this month. It comes out in June. She is one of the authors with Rising Action, which is also my publisher. And oh my gosh, it was so good. But I'm going to review it in June. But it's so good. It was so creepy and everything a horror novel should be. And then the next one is the book I'm reviewing this week, and that is The Bottom Line by Toby Carter. It is another romance novel, and it's enemies to lover, but it's really like I've never seen it done before. Fully believable. It deals with mental health issues. It deals with toxic masculinity. But it also has this incredibly fun and spunky main heroine in Stella. She's just so freaking cool. And next week, we are doing an interview with the author, Toby Carter. So we're super excited about that. She's so nice.
Right. Is that yours?
That's my roundup.
No, yours is longer than mine, but
I didn't make quilts or hang quilts.
Or hang quilts or do all that. So, join us next month. Maybe I will have read more about it.
Bye, guys.